Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Bagaimana Azlan and this is my video. So for the objective for this experiment is, for the first experiment is water content. So this is the apparatus. We have spatula, container, balance and soil sample. The first step is we balance the empty container to make sure the weight of the container. The next step is I take the soil sample and I put in the container, and after that I weigh it using the balance. After that, I take the soil sample that I put in the container and I put in the oven to make sure it dry for 24 hours. Lastly, I take the dry soil and the container and weigh it to take the result. This is my last result. The next experiment is field density. This is the apparatus. First one, container, balance, soil sample and set of cylinder pouring. The first step of this experiment is that you have to take the set of the pouring cylinder and you have to make a hole at the soil. So, and after you make a hole, you have to take out the soil and make sure it can cover the plate, and just like that, and then you put it on the empty container. After that, you take the pouring cylinder, and this is as an example. You take that is as a sand, and you put sand into the pouring cylinder so that the sand can cover the soil that we have deep. Make sure you flatten the sand so that it mix with the soil. After that, you take the soil that you have take from the hole that you dig, and you weigh it. So this is my result. The third experiment is particle density. The apparatus is balance, water container and soil sample. The first step that you have to do is you have to weigh the empty water container. After that, you have to fill up the empty container and you have to fill up with the water, and you have to weigh it with empty which is empty container plus water. The next step is you take out the water from the container and you put the soil sample into the container, and after that you weigh it to make sure the empty can plus soil weigh. And the last one is you put water and soil together in the container and you weigh it to make a difference between that 3 container. So this is my last result for this experiment. The next experiment is a permeability. This is the apparatus, bottle, container and soil sample. The first step for this experiment is to put the soil sample into the bottle. After put the soil into the bottle, you have to mark the bottle with H1, H2, H3, H4. It's like I did with my fingers. And then you take the water, you pour it out at the container, which container is outside the bottle, and you pour it into the bottle also. So after that you have to wait for until the water drop, and this is become like this. So this is my last result for the permeability. The last experiment is the partial size grading and texture, which is we use sieving analysis. We have container, sieve, soil sample and balance for the apparatus. Firstly, we have to weigh the sieve, all the sieve that we use. So for me, I have 2 sieve, and after that, I take the sieve, each one, and I make it pass through the soil through the sieve. So which one that pass the sieve will be into the next containers. After that, I take all the sieve and the containers that I have used, and I weigh it. All the data that I have taken from the weigh that I have made, I put it on the table. Just like this one, the result from the experiment.